Welcome to today's online lesson. Today in mathematics, we'll be looking at ratios and proportion. We'll mainly focus on ratios for today. So let's get into it with me, your mathematics tutor, Mr. Jairus Piri. The first thing that we need to understand when we're dealing with ratios is what is a ratio. We need to understand what ratios are. So what is a ratio? So a ratio is simply a comparison of two similar quantities. So a ratio, you're just comparing between two similar quantities. So a ratio is a comparison of two similar quantities. A ratio is a comparison of two similar quantities. How do we compare these two similar quantities? So we compare these quantities by dividing. So we compare the quantities by dividing. We compare the quantities by dividing. One quantity by the other. This is how we compare these quantities by dividing. Ratios are written using the symbol. So ratios are written with this symbol. So this is read as 2. So you read this as 2. So read as 2. So this symbol in ratios, we read it as 2. So the ratio, when you're comparing, you will compare by dividing, and we use the symbol, this symbol. This symbol is read as 2. We're clear on that one? Now let's look at an example on how we can apply these ratios. Our first example says a classroom has 6 girls and 3 boys. So a classroom has 6 girls and 3 boys. Write the ratio of girls to boys. Write the ratio of girls to boys. So they have started with the question says write the ratio of girls to boys. So they have started with girls. So what is the total number of girls? So girls we have 6. Then to show that it is a ratio, so this is the word 2. Then to show that this is a ratio, we said we use this symbol. So meaning our answer will be 6 to 3. So this is the ratio of girls to boys, 6 to 3. And when we just started this, I mentioned that ratios are written, we compare the quantities by dividing. The same way we deal with division when we are dividing. We look for a common factor so that we can simplify this expression. So which factor can go both into 3 and 6? So that number is 3 itself, yeah? So 3 can go into 3, it can also go into 6. So you can simplify ratios because we said we write them, we compare by dividing. So we can find a number which can go into 3 as well as 6 so that we just simplify our expression. So what number? 3. We've said it is 3. So meaning 3 into 3, it is 1. Then 3 into 6, it is 2. So meaning the ratio of girls to boys is 2 to 1. That is the ratio of girls to boys. Then this same question can also be written in a different way. You can be asked to write the ratio of boys to girls. The ratio of boys to girls. The first one was girls to boys, but this one, boys to girls. So what is the number? Boys will have 3 to, what is the number for girls? 6. So always pay attention to what they have started with. So here it started with girls, then it ended with boys. So meaning we'll start with the number for girls, then we go to boys. Here we've started with boys to girls. So we start with boys, Then we go to girls. So girls, boys to girls, it is 3 to 6. So we write it the way we write ratios, 3 to 6. 3 to 6. This can also be simplified. You write it in a simpler way. A number that can go into 3 and 6, it is still 3. So 3 into 3, it is 1 to 2. 1 to 2. So that is the ratio of boys to girls. Let's look at another example. Our second example here, we have squares, some shaded and then some are not shaded. And the question says, what is the ratio of shaded squares to white squares? What is the ratio of shaded squares to white squares? How many shaded squares do we have? So they have started with shaded squares to white squares, the ones that haven't been shaded. So how many shaded squares do we have? So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 5 shaded squares. So 5 shaded, 5 are shaded. Then here they have used white squares, the ones that haven't been shaded, of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 white squares. We have 5 shaded, 11 white squares. So we write in form of a ratio. What is the ratio of shaded squares to white squares? Shaded, we have 5. We write our symbol for ratios, to white squares, which is 11. So now 5, so the ratio of shaded squares to white squares, it is 5 to 11. This one can't be simplified any further because we don't have a number that can go into 5 and 11 without leaving a remainder. So we just end there. So the ratio of shaded squares to white squares, it is 5 to 11. So that is our answer there. Then if they say, what is the ratio of white squares to shaded squares? So white squares, so if they started with white squares, it would have been 11 to 5. If they started with white squares to shaded squares, but in this case it was what is the ratio of shaded squares? So shaded squares, we found that they are 5, so 5 to white squares, which is 11. Let's look at another example.